In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the time I accidentally detailed a stranger's car. Instead of working on the customer's car, the correct car, I was working on a complete stranger's vehicle. And if you are looking to start and grow your detailing business, click the link down below and download my ultimate guide to start your detailing business. There's over 10,000 words of pure content in that guide. It took me quite a bit of time to write it, so please download it, implement it, and put it to use. And let's get started with this video, as it's quite funny and there's some lessons to take away from it. So this was around 2016, 2017. It was Anthony and myself in my HHR panel, the milk truck as I call it, and Anthony was my first helper. And this vehicle was going to get an interior detail. It was a black Toyota Camry. And the day before, or a few days before the detail, I confirmed with the customer and said, hey, we'll work on the top floor, because it was at a business building, so there was a parking garage. So I told him, hey, we'll work on the top floor because there's usually a lot of space there, and the customer agreed. Now, one thing when I work at buildings, I typically ask the customer, hey, does the business security or does building security allow for a detailer to be on site? Just because sometimes there has been times where, not that we've gotten kicked out, but like it was brought to our attention that we're not supposed to be there because they have a contract with a car wash business, and they're the ones that are supposed to be doing all on-site details. So I always ask the customer, hey, are we allowed to be there on site? Or it could just be for security reasons. And again, this is more so like business buildings where like it's suit and tie kind of deal. If it's a shopping center or something like that, I typically don't ask that. So it's for a specific use case where I'll ask. 10 out of 10 times, there's never an issue. But I would just ask, just to kind of on my part, if someone were to come up to me or something, I'd say, hey, I asked the customer, they confirmed with security that it's okay. So I kind of just try to use that buffer right there. So I confirmed all that with the customer, and I said, okay, great, I'll see you there. So the day of the detail, we arrive, and I text the customer, hey, Joe, we're here. And I get no message back from the customer. Now, I'm assuming, hey, he's working, he's at work, he's in a meeting, for a number of reasons, he doesn't have time to reply. So naturally, we make our way up to the top floor, and it's an empty top floor, but there is a black Toyota Corolla over there. So I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it's that one. So we kind of drive over there, and I still haven't got a message back from the customer. It's been around like 10 minutes or so. And I haven't heard anything back, but in my head I'm thinking, okay, well, there's not many vehicles. Like there's maybe like on the whole parking floor, there was like 3 over there, 1 over there, and then like 2 right there. And of those 2, it was a black Toyota Corolla. And I'm like, okay, well, there's a black Toyota Corolla. There's an empty parking floor. We have already confirmed that we're gonna do the detail up here. So like, this is probably the car, because maybe the customer knew he was going to be like in a meeting or something, and he brought the car to the top floor. So then the last thing that I think about doing is, okay, well, let me go check if the doors are unlocked, because if the doors are unlocked and we put all these other factors into consideration, then that has to be the car. Because why else would it be up here on the top floor by itself with the doors unlocked? So I go and check, and I just open the rear door or the front door, and it's unlocked. So I'm like, okay, at this point, Anthony, this has got to be the vehicle, right? Because like there's too many factors in our favor proving that this is the vehicle we're supposed to be working on. And so, I told Anthony, let's start working. So we start moving the belonging. We put stuff in bags to move them out of the vehicle. We start throwing trash away. I start vacuuming, and Anthony starts cleaning the door panel. Now, we are moving kind of fast because we are behind schedule, because it's been like 10, 15, 20 minutes or so. And, we have like 2 other cars on the schedule. So we're like, okay, we got to kind of get moving, because like we're kind of falling behind. And, we start working, and sure enough, a few minutes later, we get a message from the customer. It says, hey man, so sorry. I parked on the 3rd floor. I'm on my way up now. And when I read that message, it's like, I was just left in awe, because I'm like, we're in someone's vehicle that we don't know. Like, this is not the vehicle we're supposed to be in. So I tell Anthony, I'm like, dude, put everything back the way it was, because we're working on the wrong vehicle. So we go back to the HHR. We get the bag. We try to put things where we can remember where we found them. But you know, at that point, we're not trying to hide the fact that we were in someone's vehicle, because again, we had already started vacuuming it. Anthony started cleaning the door panel. Like the car looked cleaner for the most part, based off like where it was. So it's not like we were gonna hide the fact that we were in here, right? So I left like the bags that we used to store the customer's belongings, I just left them on the front seat. And I wrote on a sticky note, like a very short note, letting the customer, or letting the owner know that we were in his vehicle. I left my business card on there, and I was like, hey, I wrote something like, hey, accidentally mistaked your vehicle for a customer of ours. We put everything back the best we could, and then I left my business card, like, text me or call me for any questions. Just because, again, like, again, for us, I was very nervous and scared, because I was like, well, what if the customer, what if the owner comes out and he thinks we're like trying to steal his vehicle or break into his vehicle, right? It'd be hard to think that, because the HHR panel was right next to it, right? It was branded. We had a vacuum hose. We had like, so you wouldn't think like someone's trying to get in there real quick, but you never know, right? And I was scared of like maybe like a confrontation of the owner coming out and me trying to explain the situation. So we tried to put everything back as quickly as we could. And again, like the owner would know like, oh, someone was in here. So I left a note just in case he wanted to call or ask us anything. Because again, luckily for us, like we didn't find, a stack of cash or a watch or some diamonds or some whatever. Like there was nothing in there like that. So, thankfully the customer, there was nothing at least that we knew of, that the customer would like kind of question. So that in itself was great. And overall, like once we put everything back and the customer brought his vehicle to the top floor, there was no problem or issue after that. We did work quite fast to catch up on the details so we can go to the next vehicle. But after that, there was no real issue with anything there. So with that, like, since, again, that was 2016, 2017, somewhere around there. Since then, we've never had an issue anything close to that, right? Because typically you just don't have that issue. Like typically you're gonna have the vehicle where it's at, where it's supposed to be, and work on the right one. Now, some things you can look out for is you could ask for a VIN number or a license plate number. The VIN number, it's probably a bit much, because I don't know if most people know, not that it's difficult, but I don't think most people know how to get the VIN number. I thought someone was there. Most people probably don't even know where to look for the VIN number. So but everyone knows where the license plate's at. So at a minimum, you could ask for a license plate. That way you can confirm and identify that vehicle. But again, like for us, it's never been an issue since then. And I don't think most people would have an issue giving their license plate to you. And you can tell them, right? You can tell them, hey, I want to confirm we're working on the right vehicle, because in the past we have worked on the wrong vehicle. Even if it hasn't, you can still say that to put them a bit more at ease. But again, asking for the license plate is not a big deal, especially if they're already giving you their home address or apartment address or business location. Like asking for the business plates isn't that much more of a stretch to ask for information. But you can also carry this over to when you're working at a home, apartment, or business location, is double confirm you're at the right address. So it's never really happened to us where we went into the wrong driveway or at the wrong apartment or something, but that is something I could see detailers get confused, where maybe you have houses really close together, maybe it's like a duplex and they're sharing like an A side and a B side. Is just confirm, and if you're not sure if that's the right location or the right vehicle, just wait and until the customer confirms with you. Now, if you already want to be proactive and ask for one more identifier before you get there, that's always good to do, right? Like, again, I personally, we've never asked for license plates because that was like a one-off thing. But if you want to be proactive, and like I said, when you're at a business setting or a parking lot and you want to be triple sure, it would be nice to ask for the license plate. That way when you get there, hey, we're looking for this specific vehicle. Or at a home location, like if you're, again, sometimes they could be confusing. Maybe the lettering's off, maybe the mailbox doesn't have the full number on it, where, just confirm with the customer, call them, text them, and let them know you're here, and don't do anything, don't start anything until they actually come outside and you greet them, because the last thing you would want to do is go to the wrong home location and be on someone's driveway or be looking around, because I could see you're at a wrong address, like a home address or apartment, and you're working on it's the right vehicle, but not the right owner or home, and then that can get you in a little bit of a pickle that you would just want to avoid altogether. Man, but it just felt so weird when I got that message from the customer and I was like, we're invading someone's personal space right now. Like, it felt really weird because like we're not supposed to be here. Like, it almost felt like you were in someone's house and like you were going through their things and like you're not supposed to do that. Like, that's exactly how it felt with the vehicle. Again, nothing was moved, like nothing drastic happened, but it was just a thought of like we're in someone's personal space and we're not supposed to be here. We're like, oh, like put everything back and let's get out of here, because it felt really weird. And again, like I didn't want to have any confrontation with the owner. But I'll go ahead and end it right there. If you have any examples or scenarios that you've been through that are similar to this, leave a comment down below, because it might be really funny or it might help another detailer out. So just leave a comment down below with what you've gone through. I'll talk to you guys on the next one.